Welcome back, everyone. Episode lucky number 7 of the Hendriks Experience. And today we have our awesome team member, Devyn Portugaise, with us.
How you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing fantastic.
Thanks for having me tonight.
Good to be here. You're in the hot seat tonight,
I'm
Mike.
in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Devyn's been on our team now for, this is your 5th year in real estate.
My 5th year, yes, sir.
Yes, and you started with our team day one.
Day one, 2019.
2019, just a year before COVID.
Yeah.
You just got one pre-COVID year in, and then you dealt with the craziness, as we call it, of the market.
Yeah, what a roller coaster that was.
Yeah. How was that working with buyers?
Well, in the first year, as you know, I was your licensed assistant, so I was doing a lot of your work, helping out with a lot of your stuff, and then...
Now, don't make it sound like I don't do anything.
You did a lot. Taught me everything I know. But honestly, yeah, I mean, COVID hit, the market stopped, everything died down, not anything moving, nobody going out of the house, everybody kind of scared to even leave the house, and that's actually when I got my first listing.
Yeah.
So April 2020, I got my first listing.
Almost a dead stop.
Everything stopped. Nobody made offers. Nobody saw houses anymore. And then from that point on, it went crazy.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. So that was that stall of the market was very short lived.
Yeah.
I remember back doing a video right in about the month of April, and everyone thought that the market was just going to crash because we started getting buyers saying, I'm going to wait till next month when homes are going to be half off, half price special.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not going to happen. In fact, I believe the market's going to really take off. And not many people had that opinion that I had.
Yeah.
But I felt that once people were cooped up in their homes for a long time, that they're going to start thinking about lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And looking for something bigger, different, country, this, that, pool, no pool, whatever it happened to be. They were going to get a little bit stir crazy in that house and want to bust out. At the same time, one of the biggest factors was the moving in of people from the GTA area into our market. Did you feel that as well?
Yeah, I think that was kind of the perfect storm. COVID let you work from home. Interest rates dropped down to 2% and lower even.
Almost free.
But
It felt like it.
When money's free, you take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you had work from home. You had people retiring from the GTA getting, $2 million plus for their average house. They were coming down here where prices were a lot more reasonable, and obviously scooping everything up and making it a lot more challenging for the local buyer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that was great in some aspects and really great for sellers.
Yeah.
But it did make it a challenge for the buyers in our community, right? Throughout the Niagara region, we started to hear in a different way than we hear today, a lot of the challenges of affordability.
Yeah.
Now, so that affordability was squeezed by the fact of so many competing offers in a listing. We'd list a property, and how many offers would we have come in on it?
At the beginning, it was just a few, and then it easily went up to 30, 40 times, right?
Simply crazy. I would say our average was probably 10, 15 offers. Yeah, at least 10 offers. So that made it very difficult, and that's when, like I say, affordability came into play. But a different reason. That was the prices going up. Now we're dealing with interest rates have gone up dramatically.
Yes.
So a different type of affordability challenge for home buyers, especially the first-time home buyers, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to get into the market. They've scrimped and saved maybe to get that down payment together. Maybe a little help from mom and dad. Fantastic, grandma, grandpa, whatever it happens to be. RSP, some people put money into RSPs. They put all together, but that pressure of higher interest rates has certainly made it challenging for a different group of people or the same group that we're trying to get in previously.
Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of the first-time home buyers kind of sat out of the bidding wars, and their purchasing power was kind of pushed down. The interest rates were great, but they couldn't compete with the money coming in from the GTA. They couldn't compete with the people, moving up to their second home. They really just didn't have that power and that even room to negotiate, right? You're kind of at the mercy of the seller, mercy of the market, at the mercy of, whoever you had at the other side of the table against you, which was...
Yeah, because a lot of times we'd find that probably 80% plus, if there was an 80-20 rule for everything, which I generally believe is 80% of the buyers were coming from out of town.
Absolutely. And I think that was the biggest thing we saw as well. Once you saw the sale and the sale price, and where that member who helped the buyer purchase, so the purchasing real estate agent, we would usually see them being a non-member, and that was usually from out of our region, right? Not a Niagara buyer. So usually probably part of the Toronto Real Estate Board, meaning they had more money, they could come down here and they could spend more money. A lot of the times they were paying cash, so interest rates weren't, an option for them or weren't really a concern for them. And it just kind of squeezed out, the average person who's making, a local salary and not competing with the big bucks of the GTA.
Right. So today, I would say that first-time home buyer, the thought that's now going through the mind is, well, interest rates, they're talking about interest rates coming down. They're likely to come down. Prices were at their lowest level, I'd say probably December 2023 over the past, from the past year or two. And so we hit that low point. Activity, which I thought would probably be slower in January, February, we saw a pretty strong uptick in activity in January, February. And those are what I call the early adopters. Ones that want to beat the market because the market home prices are going up. Like it or not, sellers like it, but there's a little bit more empathy towards even a seller, a little bit more empathy these days towards home buyers. But like it or not, when rates are coming down, prices are going up. And so right now they're making some of those tough decisions.
Yeah.
Do you see that happening?
Yeah, right now what I'm seeing a lot of is there's a lot of people ready to go, ready to buy, but they're kind of on the sidelines, right? Do I buy now? Do I wait for interest rates to come down? Can I get a better house if interest rates come down? And honestly, I think it's a challenge for them, right? As interest rates come down, like you said, prices tend to go up, right? So if you're qualified today for a mortgage and you've got your pre-approval in place, I think it's better to start getting into the market now as soon as you can, right? Because if you wait for those interest rates to come down and those home prices go up, what's going to happen is you're going to squeeze yourself out of the market again.
And you're going to be challenged.
Yeah.
You're like, when is this going to end?
Exactly.
There's always something.
Right.
So when there's always something, I have a little bit of a saying, and it's the best time to buy is when you're qualified to buy.
Yeah.
So if you can qualify to get into the market and you're able to come up with that 5% down or more, then it's probably a good time to buy. And I think you nailed it bang on, Devyn, that as the interest rates come down, those prices are going to start going up, and then they're going to lose the ability to qualify.
Exactly.
Because it all comes down to the qualification, right?
Right.
And you and I were chatting a little bit earlier about the misstep sometimes that home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, make. Can we chat a little bit about that?
Yeah. So again, most of the first-time home buyers that I'm talking to and that I'm seeing, they're coming to me before they've got their ducks in a row, more or less, right? They're coming to me and they're wanting to look at properties. They're wanting to go out and view those properties. They're essentially window shopping without checking the balance in their bank account, more or less.
It's a very good way to put it.
Right. So, we're at high-end stores and we don't know if we can afford it. Or maybe we're shopping at the discount store and we can't afford the higher end.
Yeah, because it could work both ways.
Exactly. So the best thing to do is obviously get yourself pre-approved with a mortgage broker, with your bank, whoever's best fit for you. And then that actually allows me to know what you can afford, what neighborhoods we can go for, what cities we can afford. And we can actually start putting together a plan to, go out there and actually find the homes that are going to suit you, that, you're going to be able to afford. And then we're actually going to be able to make offers on and make competitive offers on.
Right. So what you want to do is know where you stand.
Exactly.
In order to take that next step forward.
Exactly. You can't start making offers if you don't know where you stand. And that's the hardest part. So when you're coming to me first, that's great. Come to me first all the time. I'll put you in place with the right people, but you can't expect to go shopping when you don't know what you can afford.
Right. And you said right there, you said it's the hardest part. It's also when you don't know where you stand, it's the hardest, your heart, because I just made that up. I don't know. But what I mean by that is if you start looking at properties and you don't get pre-qualified, you don't know exactly where you stand, it can lead to a lot of disappointment. So it's an emotional stressor. You see something, you love it, you think you afford it because you went online and you went on a calculator and it said you could afford it. But the reality is when you came in and met with, say, Tyler, our mortgage broker, and he went over all of your details, it's not quite what you had hoped for.
Yeah.
And it's just going to lead to disappointment,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And then again, there's disappointment on the other side as well. Like, let's say you think you can only afford $400, but you can actually afford $500. But you didn't know that, let's say, a month ago. But a house you loved came by at 450, 475, even 500, and you lost that opportunity. And now moving forward in the future, you know you could have afforded that home, and now you're kicking yourself in the butt because you didn't make that first proper steps to be able to make that big leap in putting in the offer on that home and actually securing.
Absolutely. Because I think some people might think, oh, well, I told him 400 and now he's talking about 450, 500. Oh, they just want to sell me a more expensive home. No, that's not the case. We want to find them the right home that fits what they qualify for. But at the same time, if they can get into a little bit better house and they don't need to spend all the cash in the renovations and so on, and they qualify for that, they may want to take that next step. They may even want to go to the step of where they were going to like, okay, we're going to start at this house, then we're going to go to the next house, then we're going to go to the next house. They're going to work their way up.
Yeah.
They can potentially skip a step.
Exactly.
They don't need us for hard. So it's completely, it's not selfish of us at all. We want them to get to the house that works best for them and their family.
Exactly. I agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we are just here to help you get to where you want to be. And we're here to help you get in the best home. I personally think sweat equity is the best kind. You know, roll up your sleeves, do a little bit of work to the home and gain that value over time, gain that value from appreciation. And you know, but if you don't have to buy the worst house on the street and you can buy that next step up, save yourself a little bit of the, you know, the headaches and the structural problems and the, you know, this and that, and just do the cosmetics and make the home better.
Yeah, and it could be cosmetically or it could be locationally, right? So maybe you had hoped to be closer to that park or to the school that you wanted your kids to go to. You didn't think you can qualify, but you actually can qualify, right? Yeah. So coming full circle, just to actually the beginning step, that pre-qualification, knowing where you stand, and then you're going to move forward with them. And what kind of process happens from there?
So basically from there, once we know what you can afford, we find out where you want to be, what your needs are in a home. You know, what's your future plans? You know, are you having kids? Or are you just looking for a place to get started? And then from there, we can actually sit down together. We can go over, you know, the whole entire Niagara region or whatever region you're in. And we can, you know, put together a plan and actually get those properties that are suited for you and are in your price range. We actually get those properties in front of you.
Right. And we cover Hamilton region as well as Niagara region. Some people start in Hamilton and they buy there. But other times they start in Hamilton, they actually make a move to St. Catharines because it's a little more affordable.
Yeah.
They can get a little bit more bang for their buck.
Exactly.
So even though people come up with this great list of what they'd like in a home, it can change as you're out searching for properties, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. It's constantly changing. Everybody's criteria and what their needs are constantly changing. You know, you might want something now, and then, you know, next month you might have a kid on the way, right? And
you never know.
Completely changed, right? So again, that's what we're here for. We're here to roll with the punches as well and you know, be that trusted advisor to you as a buyer or as a seller, depending on what you're doing. But again, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you roll with the punches and maybe take a few of those for you. And I mean, getting that pre-approval in place is definitely the first place to start to.
Absolutely. So once you have that number from Tyler and you know exactly where you stand, then you're going to set them up on a system that sends them the listings. I always say, best to like start wide, cast your net wide, and get a feel for what's out there. Like take a whole list, go through all of the listings in your price range, and don't narrow yourself down too much. And start driving by some properties.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily need to go in every one of them because you will eliminate some homes just by driving by. So I always say, look across the street from you because that's the house you're going to be looking at through your front window every day, and look side to side in your driveway because those are going to be your neighbors. And if you don't feel good in that area, scratch, move on.
Yeah.
There's still a very healthy choice of homes to look at right now.
So
now that may change. So I always say as well, the best one to buy is the one you fall in love with, right? Today.
Yeah. Time is of the essence in real estate. Always is. I mean, you think you got time and, you know, that house has been on the market 70 days. And as soon as you want to see it, there's competing offers on it. We're starting to see competing offers a lot.
We had 2 instances in the past month where the home had been on the market for about 5 or 6 months. Suddenly that night, there's 2-3 offers on the property.
I did that last week.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so when you see that, you know there's a shift in the market. So it's time to take some action.
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. Devyn, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Love having you on our team.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers.
And we'll see you next time. Cheers.